Brother, I get it. Your woman leaves you, or she wants to break up with you, or maybe she even cheated on you, and the first thing you do is you want to try to get her back. You want to try to get back what you had. And for most guys, they fail miserably in trying to get their woman back because they don't really know how to do it. They don't understand that how they're coming across, how they're acting is actually driving her further away. And most guys, especially if their relationship is failing or their marriage is failing, they got a lot on the line, right? They've got kids, they've got a house, they've got a life, they've got a future together with this woman. And for whatever reason, now they find themselves looking down the barrel of a gun of divorce, and they don't really know how to turn things around. They go and they claw at the woman in desperation. And she tells him it's too little too late. And so in this video, I'm gonna take you down the road of like how not to mess it up further. Because most guys make their situation so bad that they have no chance of reconciling in the future. And what you can do to move forward powerfully so that she actually is drawn to you and so she actually wants to come and try to make it work with you. My name is Ed Baxter and I help guys in betrayal situations. I've coached thousands of men, tens of thousands of men who come through my doors in one form or another. I've had over 3,000 guys come through the Betrayed to Badass program. And that's what we do. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. Every client that I see who is going through a betrayal situation, or if their wife just wants to walk away, he goes from one of two camps. One camp is, I am needy and insecure, and I'm in this place of codependency. And so most relationships that fail are falling apart because of one of two reasons. One, incompatibility, or codependency, or both. And so he's in this place where he's very insecure, and he looks at his wife for validation, he looks at her for approval, and she's typically running the house. He looks to her to make all the decisions and look at all the answers, and so she is looking at him as another child in the relationship. Or the other one is that he's neglected his wife. He's usually running a business, he's an entrepreneur, or maybe he's an executive, and he's spending most of his time in his workplace. And so what ends up happening when he comes home, he's not even present. He's still out there in the job. And the other guy, he's not really present either. He's more worried about making his wife happy. And so guys come in two camps, and when they run into this situation where their wife wants to walk out, he goes, well, how do I fix this? And so this guy over here who was neglectful, what he ends up doing is going over here on the other camp of being incredibly insecure and needy and trying his hardest to try to get her back. Let me prove to her that I am different. And so he'll double down on all the things that he thinks that she wants. He'll be more present, he'll do more household chores, he'll take time off of work, he'll take time off from his business, and he tries to do all these things to show her that he's actually there. And the other guy who has been insecure and needy is in a situation where he's like, let me just double down on how I was before. Let me reach out to him more. Let me talk to him more. Let's have more communication. Let's go to counseling. And the problem isn't communication, because he's been communicating with her a lot. He's been telling her all kinds of things, making all kinds of promises. And they're talking, a lot of times all they're doing is fighting and not having productive conversations. So communication isn't the problem. She's hearing the words that you're saying. She's just not taking you seriously. Why? Because what you want here in this situation isn't really to get her back. It's to make yourself feel better, to look at yourself as not a failure. If you were this guy who wasn't present, she's telling you, hey, I need you to be here, I need you to be here, I need you to be here, you would have taken her seriously when she was talking about it and hinting at it. But oftentimes, guys don't take their wife seriously until she makes a move. And she'll do a lot of talking. And on her end, she probably isn't doing any favors either. She'll complain about something one minute, and then the next minute it seems to be fine. And so her emotional state goes from here to here, and the guy usually realizes that if he just waits her out, it'll usually be okay. And so he leans on this. He leans on his commitment. He leans on his marriage. He leans on this promise that they're going to be together. And as her emotions go back and forth, he's like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because she's not making any moves. She must be okay. And then she finally makes a move, and then he panics. And he gets very needy. Now the guy who's over here on the needy side, if he's really present, he'd know what's going on. He'd see that he's insecure. He'd see that he's trying to get all this attention and admiration and validation from his wife. He would see that he's just an insecure man, that's why he's with her. And so this guy over here, he's with her because she's a good security place, right? She keeps the family together. She keeps the kids going. She takes care of everything. And then it gives him the opportunity to go out and actually work. He doesn't actually look at her as a real partner. And this guy over here, he doesn't look at her as a partner either. He looks at her as this validation vehicle, this woman that can make him feel better about himself, fill this hole within himself. And so on both ends of this, there's no real connection going on here. This is why communication isn't going to work. What needs to happen is a way that you operate needs to fundamentally shift. And so when you make all these promises that she's going to go too little too late, oftentimes when a woman is finally done with the relationship, she's done with the relationship. There's really not a lot of talking you can do in this situation. And it's not a logical game. She emotionally is disconnected from you. She has fallen out of love, or she's taken herself out of love from you. And what she does, instead of giving you the benefit of the doubt, she holds you in contempt. She looks at you with doubt. Like, yeah, you're saying this, but you're going to fail. You're going to fail like you've done the last 14,000 times that you've made these kind of promises or said you're going to do what you're going to do, and you didn't do it. And so what she sees with you is a fundamental problem in you, in your character, in the way that you're operating. This is why when you try to use all these tactics to try to get her back, they don't work. Because she's seen a fundamental flaw in your character, and she's doing the opposite of giving you the benefit of the doubt. She's holding you in contempt and saying you're going to fail even if you try. Most guys don't actually want closure. They want absolution. They want to feel that, hey, I wasn't that bad, was I? And so for you, if you're in a situation like this, then chasing after just makes your situation worse, because it just demonstrates to her that you're doing the same shit you've always been doing, but oftentimes now you're doubling down on it. And so you have to be willing to walk away. Now, walking away doesn't mean leaving the marriage. It means you have to not chase her. Leave her the fuck alone. Go figure out what it is that you truly want. Actually be present with yourself. Both of these guys on the spectrum are not present with themselves. This man is chasing success and career and money, and at the end of his days, he's not going to go back and say, yeah, I wish I could have made more money. He's going to say, I wish I was with my kids more. I wish I had a better relationship with my wife more. I wish my relationships in my life meant something. And this guy over here is going to say, well, I was just trying to get her to make me feel better about myself. I didn't want to look within. I can't stand who I am as a person. I don't like myself. I'm super insecure. I need somebody to show me that I'm not so bad. I need somebody like a mother figure to protect me and to show me that I'm good enough as a man. And so both of these guys are not present with themselves. They're hiding from their own insecurities. They're hiding from things that they're chasing externally in the world to try to make themselves feel better within. Every single time that these guys are doing this, this is the problem. And so he has to back up and stop chasing after her and playing this game of, let me get external validation from my wife, because what's happening here is she's highlighting all your failures to you in front of your face, and you can't ignore them anymore. You know, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. It's when you come to this place and you find out that your wife's cheating on you, it's like the rug's been pulled out from under you. You feel laid low. You don't know who the fuck you are anymore. You don't know anything what's going to happen with your family. You're fearful for your kids. And if you're with a really nasty piece of work of a woman, you can guarantee she's going to try to take you to the cleaners in court and keep you from your kids and alienate your kids from you. Why? Because she's hurting and she wants to throw as much emotional revenge at you as she can. And you chasing after somebody who's been manipulating you, lying to you, cheating on you, just shows her that you don't really value yourself at all. And so you're not coming from a place of power. And if there's one thing I know about women, is that is like the thing they're most attracted to in a man, is his ability to demonstrate power with humility. If you're coming at her in this way, that's really insecure and weak, she's just going to look at you and be like, yeah, this sucky loser, I want to be with him. He deserves everything he gets. And she will take advantage of it. And so you have to back up. Get really present with who you are. Who are you really? Why are you on this planet? Was it just to get this woman back? Was it just to be a father? Was it just to build this business? Like, what's the whole point of all of this? And so this is a wake-up call for you. If you want to go from this place of completely devastated to actually dominating in life, you have to stop for a minute and ask yourself these questions, like, why the fuck am I doing anything? What's the purpose of all this? It's got to be more than just this money. It's got to be more than just having this woman try to show me that I'm a good guy. There's got to be more to life than this. And you know that yourself. You feel constricted and in pain because you can't break free of this person that you've been, that you've conditioned yourself to be for the last 20 to 30 years of your life. And it feels like this insurmountable challenge. If you're tired of being stuck in this cycle of just chasing after somebody, being completely devastated and on your knees and not knowing what to do with your life, and you want to go to a place where you're absolutely dominating in your life, and dominating in the department of your marriage, dominating in the department of being a good father, dominating in your business, where all of these things can fuel you in your money-making endeavors, then you should join the Broken to Badass program. There's a link in the description below. This is a temporary situation. I know this because it'll only take you a couple weeks to get your mind right. And after that, you'll start firing on all cylinders and become a fucking badass and start dominating your life. And now this is the guy that she's been waiting for. This is the guy that she's been looking for you to be for the last 20, 30 years. Not this guy who's been completely absent. Not this guy who's been chasing after, trying to get validation. Not this guy who has no boundaries and can't tell her no. Not this guy who's got his balls in her purse and just is afraid when she walks in the door. He tenses up as soon as she walks in the door, like, what are we going to get now? What kind of woman are we going to get now? Is she going to be the nice one or is she going to be the demon? We don't know. We ought to dance around our feelings. We got to dance around what's happening. We better not upset mom. We will ruin the whole weekend. If this is you and you're in this situation, you are not being dominant in your life. You are being weak and you are being taken advantage of. And the ironic thing is that you're asking for it. You're allowing this to happen. You don't have to. And this is what we'll teach you to do in the Broken to Badass program. That's why it's called Broken to Badass. It'll take you from devastated to dominating. You could be the next success story in the Broken to Badass program where you can actually have this amazing life where you actually become a complete soul seducer. Go from devastated to dominating in every aspect of your life. And it starts from the home. If you can't do it within yourself, and you can't do it within your household, you can't do it for the rest of your life. You can't take that outside. You can't take the war at work because you got a war in your home. As soon as you get a handle of that, everything else changes for you and you'll have a massive pivot. So if you're tired of the manipulation, you're tired of the lies, you're tired of the half-truths, you're tired of all the stories that you're getting, and you feel like you're just talking in circles with this woman and she's hot and cold with you all the time, you can't decide if she actually wants to be with you, you're not even sure if you want to stay, you're not even sure if you want to go, there's a lot of parts and pieces to this puzzle. And if you're tired of dealing with this and you want to get this turned around immediately, join Broken to Badass right now.